So the question about what would happen in a situation where you have a custodial parent who has been the victim of domestic assault, apparently for a couple of different times within the home, would hinge very much so on what you have going on at that moment in the case. If I had someone come into my office and do a consult and they had a parenting plan and the other parent was the custodial parent and this had happened to the custodial parent and they were asking me about filing for a modification to adjust the parenting time, I think that the likelihood that the judge would want to hear it is pretty high, because you have a situation where one of the parents is potentially putting the child in a dangerous situation. But again, it depends heavily on the facts about the domestic violence in the home. You would want to look at different things like, what does the jurisdiction typically do in these situations? What does the judge typically look for? You look at, was the person arrested for it? Were they charged with it? Were they convicted of the crime? Was the domestic violence perpetrated when the children were in the home or when they were not in the home? Did they witness anything? It also looks at how old are the children, and these are all the things that kind of a judge would look at. But I think on the front end, if you have a concern about the child and there's a safety concern, then it's absolutely something that you can look at modifying a parenting plan to determine whether or not that needs to be changed to keep the children safe. Questions like these are very, very specific to the jurisdiction, and I know that that's not an answer most people like to hear, because people want the law to be kind of consistent, but it's just really not. Every jurisdiction does things differently. They look at things differently. Different judges, even within the same jurisdiction, can kind of look at the facts of a case and rule something different, and you really have to kind of take into consideration kind of the temperature of the jurisdiction that you're going to be working in. There are no guarantees in law or family law, so hopefully the child will be safe. And, my best advice to somebody who has this kind of concern is to talk to an attorney to see if something can be modified or changed, and just be realistic in your expectations of what might happen, because it may change the parenting plan or it may not. It really just very much depends on a lot of different things. Follow me for more information on family and child custody law in Tennessee.